You strong.
Seeing that SeoJoon had defeated his opponent, the whole audience cheered. They called out his name, Kim SeoJoon, several times, causing SeoJoon to observe the scene and couldn't help but be surprised, thinking, oh my god. Just 2 weeks ago he was struggling to fight with a sword imbued with mana, but now he could create spear energy, SeoJoon thought amid the noise of the crowd. SeoJoon, she called silently, but suddenly, there was a stuttering sound behind her. It couldn't be. SeoJoon looked behind her. It was the cloaked man she once suspected. He seemed dazed by the results, constantly mumbling, why, SeoJoon thought, he is the person I saw at the betting center just now. No way, he was so shocked that he even opened his hat. SeoJoon whispered, I was surprised too, but his reaction was a bit too much, acting as if some ancient law of nature had just been broken. She immediately remembered something. That's right, now that I think about it. Didn't he bet that SeoJoon would win? When he looked back, he was gone, causing SeoJoon to huff in confusion. He wasn't there anymore. After the match, SeoJoon walked on the street. His expression was sullen. Back before, in front of the room door, a bodyguard informed him that he was not qualified. He continued, even though Cadet Junua's actions were excessive, he was also stripped of his right to participate in the tournament, and he interfered even though it was not an official match. The referee made a very harsh decision. There were many warnings, but he still ignored him. Hearing that, SeoJoon seemed dumbfounded. The bodyguard shook his head. His actions clearly violated the rules of the game. SeoJoon also confessed in his heart, what he said was not wrong, but why didn't the organizers stop me before I could intervene? SeoJoon then spoke up, I know, and I was also prepared for this when I intervened. Above all, what will happen to Junua now? Moving to Junua's situation now, he was lucky to be transferred to the hospital by the group of people. Hospital, the bodyguard said. Cadet Junua of course did not qualify, even though he had already been stripped of his rights. And the act of using sword energy clearly showed the intention to kill the opponent. He may not be prosecuted, but the association will ban him from participating in the Super Hunter exam for the next 5 years. In the end, by default Lee Chulmin won the tournament. Mingi placed second and Duke Shul somehow made it to third place, making SeoJoon click his tongue. Well, it must be okay since the speed of his learning process was the same. Already increased a lot. Instead, SeoJoon thought about what Chulmin would say at this time. Damn, winning without having to lift a finger is a real victory, ha ha ha. The system pops up. Teacher Chiron's learning speed is plus 15%, meaning the current speed is 48.7%. Shakyamuni's learning speed is plus 5.2%, meaning current speed is 12.1%. Hang Vu's learning speed plus 10%, meaning current speed is 56.9%. SeoJoon observed and thought, speed his learning process skyrocketed while fighting Junua, notably Xiang Yu's speed surpassed 50%. SeoJoon thought to himself, now that he thought about it, the energy he felt just now might have appeared thanks to the speed of Hang Vu's learning process exceeding 50%. Let me see, I should learn a new lesson. Everything will be easier if the learning process speed is higher. I was holding the phone thinking. Suddenly a hand touched his shoulder. SeoJoon turned his head to look back. It was SeoJoon. She called, Mr. SeoJoon. He also said, oh, is it SeoJoon? She worriedly asked, how is your body, does it hurt anywhere? Hearing that, SeoJoon immediately turned her arm and replied, you see, I'm fine, just look like that, I'm very strong. SeoJoon breathed a sigh of relief, fortunately, but SeoJoon suddenly looked at her with touching eyes. He spoke up, I'm sorry, SeoJoon. She felt confused. About what? SeoJoon replied, I should have won but I interrupted. SeoJoon didn't blame her and said, oh, but I thought you were talking about something. Don't feel sorry, you don't need to apologize to me at all. To be honest, I was just worried about whether you were okay or not. SeoJoon immediately asked, what if I'm not okay? SeoJoon said, I thought you liked the prize money very much, or was I wrong? Hearing about the prize money that she lost, SeoJoon was once again stabbed in the heart. That's right, immediately, he writhed, making SeoJoon think he had forgotten. He ruffled his hair. Longinus's spear. Ah, what should I do? I also need to buy a few more free tickets for the lesson. Seeing him tormented like that, SeoJoon spoke up, by the way he was planning to what do you do with that bonus money? SeoJoon squatted down. He scratched his head and replied, I have my eye on a weapon so I really want to buy it. In SeoJoon's eyes, SeoJoon is like someone who loves weapons. His mind is only thinking about $100,000. After that, SeoJoon stood up and said, it's okay. It would be a lie to say I don't regret it. but I think if I didn't get involved I would regret it more. Hearing that, SeoJoon had no further comments. SeoJoon then scratched his head again, saying, I'm sure the money issue will be resolved. SeoJoon replied, I thought so too. Suddenly, someone ran from afar, calling out, brother. Mr. SeoJoon, that's Mingi, his head is currently bandaged, his glasses are not intact. SeoJoon saw that and replied, Mingi. After running for a while, Mingi tiredly rested his arms on his pillow and asked, are you going now? SeoJoon replied, that's it. SeoJoon on this side at the same time lowered her hat to cover her identity. Mingi scratched his head and stammered, well, me. He was silent for a bit. Then speak up, you might become someone like me if you keep trying. Hearing this sentence, SeoJoon paused. Mingi was trembling at that time, but also very courageously looked straight at SeoJoon. He parted his lips. Then said, it might be difficult. The answer surprised Mingi. To be honest, Mingi's talent would be left behind if he became a super hunter in this day and age. Of course, people often say that if you try hard, nothing is impossible, but to cope facing this world with dreams and ideals is extremely harsh. SeoJoon continued, so don't just focus on becoming a hunter, you can be good at other things too, there's no reason to be. As disappointing as it is, you're still very young. Hearing these words, Mingi realized, he was right. He finally admitted, I'm not sad at all, I just came here to say my last goodbye. Mingi turned to leave, said the last sentence, thanking him for everything. SeoJoon looked after him and remained silent. It seemed Mingi was in a very sad mood. Suddenly, SeoJoon spoke again, but don't let anyone grasp your thoughts, whether it's me or anyone else, don't let others say that you can't. Suddenly, Mingi stopped. Again. He continued, you have no talent, that's the undeniable truth, that's what people say when they see you, they will say you can't do it, that's why you will never be successful. But always remember, other people's opinions about you are not reality. Mingi then turned around. SeoJoon said, if you want to do something, then do it, just knowing that is enough. After listening, Mingi was filled with tears. He then waved to him, brother, sometimes my sister and I will come to visit you. SeoJoon also waved goodbye. SeoJoon was there also smiling warmly. She said, seeing this side of you surprised me. SeoJoon quickly left, saying, I'm sticking my nose into things that aren't mine. SeoJoon laughed, but I thought your actions just now were cool, now you have a fan. SeoJoon replied, I think you're more suitable to be a student than a fan. I should have taken the opportunity to propose our academy. Hearing, SeoJoon suddenly stopped laughing. She seemed a little touched. Then looked towards SeoJoon, who was walking away. He also put his hand on his head and rubbed it. SeoJoon heard the humane words from SeoJoon, muttering to herself, our academy. After that, she immediately spoke up, okay, you tried your best so I will buy you a weapon. SeoJoon was startled, wait, really, why suddenly like that? She replied, just think of it as learning, let's go. My grandfather often stops by a factory, let's go there. SeoJoon hesitated, I'll choose something expensive, and so we both went to the factory together. At a temple. A man quickly came over. He quickly asked if the great master was here or not. The bodyguard guarding the door immediately replied, yes, but he said no one could be allowed in because he was meditating. That person said, this is an emergency, tell him I'm here. The bodyguard hesitated, but suddenly, the door opened wide. It was the constellation SeoJoon, the Sword Saint's bodyguard. He knelt down and said, great master, it's me, SeoJoon. The bodyguard outside couldn't stop him. His face turned pale. Minchul spoke up, I thought everyone would understand when I gave the order not to let anyone in, but upon hearing that, Seo immediately jumped. The atmosphere at this time was silent and tense, murderous intent surrounded Mr. Seo. It seemed like Minchul was saying, are you looking down on my words? SeoJoon quickly felt suffocated. He thought, the pressure is unimaginable, I can't move. Seo stammered. Miss SeoJoon participated in the Academy's most recent tournament. Hearing, Minchul seemed to ignore Seo forgetting the old rules. He asked, SeoJoon, what about the Academy tournament? Seo quickly replied, yes, the killing intent gradually gathered. At the weapon workshop, SeoJoon held up a brand new spear for SeoJoon to examine. She happily held it out for SeoJoon to see. He hummed in thought, however, Mr. Seo's words still passed through the photo frame, they am still looking for specifics. But it seemed like she had invited a new student. SeoJoon then shook her head, not this one, causing SeoJoon and the shop owner to glance sideways. Mr. Seo said, I can't solve this problem myself. Minchul said, it's okay. I need to personally go see what kind of person that guy is. Park Minchul, The Sword Saint constellation is extremely suspicious at this time. In a high-rise building, SeoJoon's voice echoed, 4,980, 4,981. Just like that, SeoJoon raised his spear and swung it down again. Until he counted to 5,000, and at the same time the last blow of the spear. After practice, SeoJoon tiredly wiped the sweat from his forehead, saying to himself, the daily mission had been completed. SeoJoon stood behind him silently observing everything. Her expression at that time was very serious, or more accurately, eye-catching, to the point that even without looking directly, SeoJoon could feel someone glancing at her. He immediately turned back. Miss SeoJoon, I felt like I was being glared at. SeoJoon quickly turned her face like a rice paper. Oh, it must have been your imagination. She put on a dark expression, trying not to say, you wanted to change your equipment that much, and then you went to the equipment store I showed you, were picky and ended up not buying anything. Immediately, the image of SeoJoon, after choosing through a row of spears, refused, saying, I think I can just continue using this. Hearing SeoJoon's words, SeoJoon apologetically replied, hey, it's just me, I feel like that's a bit excessive. SeoJoon continued to predict indignantly, you're not the type to say no or care what others think, I bet you'll happily accept it normally. Right now, SeoJoon was also a bit awkward. He thought, she reads me like a book. I'm not satisfied with ordinary weapons after seeing with my own eyes the ones created by one of the fake transcendent. Of course, what SeoJoon wants is something very luxurious. At the same time, his eyes filled with tears, cause and effect, he immediately remembered his desire to buy a luxurious weapon. At that time, SeoJoon looked at the price list, talking to himself, instead of buying a spear. Here, why don't I just take 20,000 in cash? Wait, what is that? Why is the price named like that? I can't do these things. He continued to think with a deadpan expression. It seems like it's the effect of the law of cause and effect if it's not actually earned through hard work. Damn it, it makes me afraid to do anything. SeoJoon then spoke up, I told you should buy it, there won't be a second chance. But then, she glanced at SeoJoon. Then he spoke up, and one more thing, I want to ask you, what is your mana training technique? SeoJoon is confused, what is your mana training technique? She replied, yes, you must have that to control mana. Then SeoJoon began to explain, looking at the way he fought the monsters, proving that he could completely control mana, and according to like what he fought in the tournament, it was no ordinary technique. But I've never seen you practice it, SeoJoon realized. He whispered, now that I think about it, I've never learned any mana skills. Mana training is a technique that helps users control and use mana more effectively. But there are many types of it, based on effectiveness. It is divided into high level and low level. Each hunter has their own mana training technique, and they even patented it. He thought to himself, that's why I tried to enter a high-level school like this. Suddenly, SeoJoon asked, did she learn that technique at the Hunter Academy? Hearing the question, SeoJoon was surprised. Course. She shook her head and replied, no, he absolutely forbids that. SeoJoon smiled, thinking to herself, not too surprised, otherwise that academy would have been very famous by now. Suddenly, SeoJoon added again, instead, I was taught to practice techniques that I invented myself, making SeoJoon shocked. What, you created it yourself? SeoJoon replied, yes, I'm also interested in teaching study. Why do you ask that? SeoJoon wondered, making him feel guilty, replying, I'm just curious, he thought to himself, I thought she didn't have talent, or maybe that talent bar is at the level of a sword saint. But she's right, skill training is the basics of being a hunter. And I feel the first difference between being able to use mana or not is in the battle with Junhua. Since I now have free time to study, it seems like learning about mana is also a good thing. Meanwhile, SeoJoon looked at SeoJoon's thoughtful look, making her also think at the same time, is this question that difficult? Is he trying to laugh or something? If he didn't want to answer, then so be it. After thinking about it, SeoJoon boldly left, saying, okay, just keep practicing, which made SeoJoon suddenly turn around. He asked, where are you going? SeoJoon replied, I have something to do. Hearing that, he also grinned and said, what, I didn't expect that you also had work to do. SeoJoon's joke made her pause, angrily turn her head and argue for a few times, then said, seriously, anyway, remember to lock the door if you leave before I get back. She left, slamming the door. SeoJoon waved and replied, okay, don't worry. But quickly falling silent, he wondered, the question was, what should I learn now? When will the advisor come back? When it's time to be useful, he runs away. SeoJoon cried silently. Mentor appeared, gave a thumbs up and replied, when I return, I will check on her status. You, SeoJoon has now run outside, she thought shyly. I really look like I have nothing to do. I know I've been quite free lately. What is mana? Let's explain it to the great magician Merlin. In a harsh world ruled by the law of cause and effect, this is the way to rise up and fight against the laws of the world. That is mana. The system appears. Once you have learned mana, you can see the world. The guide, the great magician Merlin. SeoJoon kept her eyes glued to her phone and let out a gurgling sound. Notification system. Once you have learned mana, you can see the world. The instructor, the great magician Merlin. When you complete this lesson, you will receive the lesson pattern. Merlin later, when he lectured again, he asked, "Did you all understand everything, right? It was easy, right?" SeoJoon kept watching him lecture, and at the same time thought dejectedly, "I feel like I'm going to lose my mind in a different way than the Buddha's lessons." The wizard Merlin on the phone finally spoke, his explanation finished. "It's time for you to find it for yourself." The system pops up, daily mission, get 1,000 mana stones. Currently there are no more than 1,000. I'm dumbfounded after reading it. This is also a daily mission. Star day. SeoJoon then proceeded to do it. He said, "I think I'll give it a try." SeoJoon raised his hands close together. Immediately, a stream of mana surrounded his body. SeoJoon thought to himself, "Is this thanks to the senses I learned from Chiron? It's not too troublesome to sense and control mana." He continued to close his eyes to accumulate mana, thinking again, "But this is really difficult. I can feel it, but I can't put it into shape, so what should I do?" Merlin appeared in his mind. He lectured, "Using mana to connect the world in your mind to the physical world. You are using it to bring something from your imagination into reality, transform it into reality as if following the laws of nature." A typical example is, suddenly, SeoJoon opened her eyes wide. Merlin continued, "A power that had never existed anywhere. Mana's transformation was like a halo. He transformed magic, and SeoJoon did it too." "Oh, so it's this," SeoJoon exclaimed in surprise, looking at the light between her hands. It was a brilliant convergence of mana. He exclaimed, "A mana stone." But looking closely, it's just a little squeaky. He wondered, did it really count as a daily mission? SeoJoon cherished that little thing, "My cute little mana rock," and old Merlin was speechless. That's called mana rock star. SeoJoon tries to cheer herself up by thinking positively, which I think will get better over time. Suddenly, Minchul appeared from nowhere. He called out, "You," causing SeoJoon to look back. He stammered, "He was, huh? Isn't that the Sword Saint?" Seeing someone familiar, Minchul's face darkened. He thought, "I came to see who SeoJoon's new friend at the academy is." But what's in his hand, if I guess correctly, is a mana stone, a solid transformation of mana. This is very difficult to do. He may be slow, but he is truly a genius. Mixed in with Minchul's thoughts was SeoJoon's dumb expression. The more he thought about it, the more suspicious he became about why a genius like him would join this academy. He aimed at his niece. At this time, Minchul emitted a murderous aura and asked, "I asked who you are." SeoJoon answered frankly, "Hello, my name is Kim SeoJoon." He even happily said, "I've only seen you on the internet. Seeing you in real life is very different." At the same time, I was thinking, I'm surprised, who would have thought that SeoJoon's grandfather would suddenly come here? Then, SeoJoon quickly asked the main issue, "Oh, you came to see Miss SeoJoon. What a pity, she just left on some business." Hearing her address, he was surprised. "What, Miss SeoJoon?" This made SeoJoon wonder, aren't you going to see her? Minchul's expression suddenly became unusually tense. He was silent for a moment. Then he asked, "Why are you still okay?" Hearing the strange question, SeoJoon immediately wondered, "What do you mean?" Minchul spoke, "My killing intent spread out, unless you were an S-class hunter, otherwise you would have stopped dead." The words made SeoJoon feel strange. He looked around, wondering, killing intent, does this affect me? Minchul finally spoke up, "Tell me, what are you here for?" He turned around, wondering, "What do you mean?" Minchul put his hand on the sword, slowly walked over, all the while saying, "A talent like him could be welcomed anywhere, so why did he approach SeoJoon? It's best to tell me the truth." At this time, the murderous aura spread strongly. SeoJoon felt it and immediately retreated. He tried to reconcile, reaching out to explain, No, I think we have a misunderstanding. Minchul's threatening voice interrupted again. "I don't think you will tell me easily." SeoJoon now had wide eyes and whispered, "It's too dangerous." Suddenly, the Sword Saint swung his sword at SeoJoon with lightning speed, causing him to immediately rush forward to dodge the attack. He frowned uncomfortably. SeoJoon on this side is still in shock. Returning to the temple, SeoJoon was there. She wondered, "What, he's not here?" She asked a nearby maid, when will you be back? The girl replied, he didn't say anything, I think Councilman Seo will know, should I call him? SeoJoon looked away, thinking, I wanted to tell him about SeoJoon. Where have you gone? Returning to the tense scene, Minchul continued to urge, say go. What did you come here for? SeoJoon quickly grabbed his spear. She asked in surprise, what, my grandfather is not here? The mate replied, yes, he's away right now, maybe Mr. Seo knows where he's going, I'll call him. At this time, SeoJoon's expression was sad. She thought to herself, that's really bad, I want to keep this a secret as soon as possible, but since he's competing in the academy tournament like this, I can't hide it from SeoJoon any longer. If you have to face it anyway, then just face the problem, SeoJoon then replied, then please ask bodyguard Seo. Suddenly, there was a voice behind her, Miss SeoJoon. SeoJoon immediately called back, bodyguard Seo. It was Seo Moonchul, he happily said, who would have thought that he would meet her in this main house, it's really rare. The maid immediately bowed her head and retreated. SeoJoon said, you came at the right time, I was planning to contact you. Mr. Seo wondered, why did you contact me, for what purpose? I came because I wanted to meet you. Hearing this, Seo Moonchul realized something. Immediately replied, the principal has come to your academy, young lady. Hearing that, SeoJoon's face darkened. She immediately left without saying goodbye. The maid was surprised, why did the young lady run so quickly? Seo Moonchul over here was just silent. SeoJoon ran at full speed, thinking, I was so caught off guard, I knew he would come by from time to time, but I didn't think he would come so early. SeoJoon was currently sweating profusely, thinking to herself, no matter what, I couldn't. At SeoJoon's academy, SeoJoon and Minchul are arguing with each other. SeoJoon made up her mind that she wouldn't be able to let those two meet alone. SeoJoon wondered, what is it? He noticed the weapon Minchul was holding, the sword sheath. He swung the sword without even taking it out of the sheath. I think he wants to block me, not kill me. Minchul asked again, who are you really? SeoJoon immediately approached, awkwardly explaining, I don't know why you behave like this, but this is just a misunderstanding, wait a minute. But SeoJoon was immediately rebuked by him, you don't just use mana. Even though you use such tactics, you still say it's a misunderstanding. Immediately Minchul swung his sword again, shouting, you're really a cheater and a liar, making it difficult for SeoJoon to suddenly block the attack. SeoJoon then backed away, quickly speaking again, I really don't know what SeoJoon said, but please calm down and. But continuing, he received curses from Minchul, that bastard. SeoJoon was extremely helpless at this time, thinking, I feel like I said something wrong, but I don't know if I said it wrong. Anything. Minchul said with murderous intent, I also really want to understand what your situation is like, but, at that moment, he thought to himself, it's all a lie, I know you don't mean it. Arrange this matter. Sweat fell down SeoJoon's cheeks. He finally refused to give up and thought, whatever. Obviously he didn't listen to me, and even if he did, he didn't seem like he wanted to kill me. If the sword star really wanted to kill me, I would have died the moment I felt his aura. Minchul, he is the great sword saint of Kwaishan. SeoJoon took his position, he continued his train of thought, being the person closest to his ideal image. This is a great opportunity for me. Thinking about it, SeoJoon immediately turned on the switch, his fighting blood welling up. Minchul thought to himself, this bastard. His aura has changed. Over the past few decades, I've met countless hunters, but there's only one person who still has a fighting spirit even after facing me. You must have very good strength. Quickly, Minchul started the first steps, he flew away so quickly, even SeoJoon was surprised. Minchul thought, but how can you approach my niece? He immediately threw a blow at SeoJoon, but he was lucky to block it. SeoJoon had difficulty blocking the attack again, he thought, I can't even feel it, let alone see it clearly. Quickly, SeoJoon's eyes tightened. It seems that Minchul is the image of a monster, fierce and overwhelming. Even though he fought until the end, he was still thinking about it. I felt that even such a simple attack was at a level I couldn't see through. I really wanted to know how long I could last. Thinking about it, SeoJoon quickly changed his position. He flashed towards Minchul to attack. He easily blocked the attack. Quickly, Minchul hit SeoJoon on the hip. Pushing him away, he even said, it's so trivial. All you had to do was answer my question. But the moment SeoJoon slid to the floor, he said to himself, no, that's not right, something's missing, I can't. Let it all end like this, just a little longer. The trick probably wouldn't work. Immediately, SeoJoon fell to the floor, his hand also letting go of the weapon. He thought, this is the only chance I have right now, at a time when he is still merciful towards me like this. Once again, SeoJoon stood up and continued to fight again. I only had one chance. When I looked up, SeoJoon saw Minchul swinging his sword at him. I had to end this in just one blow. But how to do it, he was dumbfounded. Minchul immediately hit him in the waist, but SeoJoon quickly lowered his body to avoid the attack. Finally escaped his attack. Merlin was present again. The lecture echoed in SeoJoon's head. With your will, you can use mana to deceive and convince the whole world, to make deception enter the real world as if it were the law of God. Naturally, quickly, SeoJoon regained his momentum. He immediately used the spear handle to hit Minchul's waist. This is the best I can do now. Quickly, Mana followed his spear and launched an attack. Wait, finally, SeoJoon swung his spear. Smoke gradually spread from where they were, but in the end it was nowhere. SeoJoon collapsed, losing all his strength. Minchul is still okay. SeoJoon looked up, he sobbed, it was so painful. Minchul spoke, this bastard. You finally showed your true face. Hearing this sentence, SeoJoon was not convinced and immediately argued, what is your true face wearing tin? You were the one who attacked me first. He mentioned SeoJoon again. Well, the more he talked, the more painful it became. When would Miss SeoJoon come? Every time Minchul mentioned his niece, he would break another nerve. He immediately fought to the end. Okay, if you want, then, Minchul's strongest move is clearly shown. He said, let me personally send you to hell. SeoJoon was so scared at that time. I was so scared. Quickly, the main door opened wide. Okay, SeoJoon was back, just in time to stop the two of them. What are you doing? Grandpa, SeoJoon asked Minchul when her face was now sweating profusely from jogging. Minchul stood there watching the children talk to each other. SeoJoon asked worriedly, SeoJoon, are you okay? Oh no, you're all bruised. SeoJoon replied, I don't think there are any serious injuries, no, but there's no denying it doesn't hurt. After hearing that, he turned away and said, how can a weak person like that call himself a man? SeoJoon refused to give up and immediately replied, if you're beaten by a sword saint, what does gender matter? I bet everyone you meet fights like that. SeoJoon was surprised the first time she saw him fighting with the sword saint. Minchul, because he was lashed out by him, immediately said loudly, what did you just say, you bastard? SeoJoon replied, what, are you planning to hit me again? His mouth was moving, but he still decided to hide behind SeoJoon. Making her whisper, oh my god, I've never seen anyone dare to argue with him. No, the sword saint is right. Once again, SeoJoon argued with him, really, but first can I know the reason why I was beaten? Maybe the sword saint can do whatever he wants, huh? When seeing Minchul showing signs of wanting to respond, SeoJoon immediately stood up to stop him. Stop it, Grandpa. Then, she turned to SeoJoon and said, I'm sorry for making you endure this. SeoJoon, he heard her apology, immediately politely said, it's okay, it looks like it's just a scar. It's just a small bruise, you don't need to apologize. SeoJoon then bowed down, sincerely apologizing. I will explain everything later, but now I sincerely apologize to you. Seeing her like that, he also felt guilty. However, SeoJoon still paid a little attention. Minchul was still quite disgusted with him at that time, and SeoJoon was extremely worried about his current situation. SeoJoon had to make another excuse. Now that I think about it, I should at least go get checked first. Now I'm going to the hospital. SeoJoon bowed her head again and said, that's right, and you don't need to worry about the cost of treatment. I sincerely apologize to you. SeoJoon then said, then I'm leaving. Seeing you leave without a word of blame, SeoJoon was also relieved. Thank you for understanding, SeoJoon. Quickly, she turned her head to look back at the uncle behind her, Chulmin. She called, Grandpa. His face was still jealous as before. SeoJoon immediately said, let's talk. Both were silent for a while. She suddenly felt tense, thinking to herself, she was determined to confront him, but now standing in front of him she couldn't open her mouth. But suddenly, Chulmin let out a scolding. That bastard is really suspicious, don't approaching it. Hooking it unintentionally caused resentment among the people. Finally, she trembled and uttered her first words. He had no doubts. He immediately replied, what do you know? The words quickly touched her. SeoJoon thought to herself, what do I know? I don't know how to do anything, so just do as I say. Those are the words I've heard for the past 31 years, with just a few words like that. Ignored my opinion. Even the Hunter Academy I was in couldn't escape him. He always causes trouble when we have students, so we all leave. She pursed her lips, I know why he behaves like that, I know the motives behind when people come here, that's why I can't stop them every time they want to leave. However, returning to the present, Minchul said, clean it up tomorrow, otherwise, I will. Immediately, She replied frankly, I don't want to, making his eyes widen in surprise. However, SeoJoon was different. Minchul heard his niece's words just now and quickly turned around. He wondered, what did you say? SeoJoon replied again, I don't want to. I don't want to lose him. After thinking about it, she quickly argued loudly, expressing her thoughts. He said he didn't want to, why should he do as you say? She thought again, less than a month from now, then told him, this is my academy, not yours. SeoJoon quickly recalled, it wasn't like we created precious memories together, nor did I have special feelings for him, but every time I saw SeoJoon, I had a strange feeling. It makes me want to stay with him longer. At the end of the memory, Minchul said again, this is not the time for you to be angry, maybe you don't know but, SeoJoon immediately argued back, okay, you don't know, so what? Thinking back to that afternoon, she couldn't explain why she felt that way. SeoJoon immediately put her hand on her chest and said loudly, I don't know, that's why I want to find out why. I can't live forever in your shadow, and I don't want to either. Even now, in the middle of speaking, she kept quiet because she knew she had said something wrong. Minchul standing in front of her also felt surprised. SeoJoon quickly fell silent, then she left with guilt, I'm sorry for raising my voice. But this time, I don't intend to do what you want. Having said that, she pushed the main door and left. Leaving Minchul there, he silently called her name, SeoJoon. Has he ever expressed such a strong opinion before? Going back to old memories, when the city had a dungeon explosion, everyone was running away, it was a dungeon explosion, Kia, help me, run quickly. While at Minchul, he received news from a bodyguard, the great master, that something had happened. Your son, when he heard the whole thing, he seemed dumbfounded. On the day of his son's funeral, Minchul looked at the granddaughter in front of him with a pitiful face. After losing my son in the dungeon explosion, I adopted SeoJoon, who was alone. I decided to give it the power to protect itself, that's what I decided. This is also the reason why I am so strict. She doesn't even like swordsmanship. During sword practice sessions, SeoJoon often encounters obstacles and gives up, but Minchul doesn't allow it, picks it up quickly. At this rate, she won't be able to become a hunter. Let alone A level. This is not even the path he wanted. Minchul then asked SeoJoon again when she told him what field she wanted to go into, do you want to become a teacher? Do you think all this time I have been teaching you just to become a teacher? Even during arguments, she said, you don't want to listen, he shouted, you have to listen to me like what you're doing. The two seemed to have nothing in common. After pressuring her all these years, I knew her emotions were suppressed but still deliberately ignored them. At that time, SeoJoon really left, freed from his control. Minchul tilted his head and sighed, so this was the end. Rebellious, he said and looked towards the door. Next morning, SeoJoon walked on the street again. He rotated his shoulder joint. Tell yourself, don't worry, today's task is not difficult. After a while of walking, SeoJoon remembered a few things about that old sword saint. He imagined him as a guy who just liked to be crazy. Then he spoke up, when the sword saint came to him the other day, he thought he was dead. Luckily, thanks only a few bruises escaped. I know the sword saint is gentle, but if SeoJoon had come a little slower, it wouldn't have been just a bruise. Quickly, the smile disappeared from his face. SeoJoon thought, I wonder what kind of story Miss SeoJoon has behind it. Last night, Miss SeoJoon called and told the reason. Current situation and relationship with her grandfather. Just like what happened to the previous students. I'm sure that's not all, but I also understand how she feels and why the sword saint hates me so. But he shouldn't hit other people like that. I understand that doesn't mean it's not rude. He sighed a little angry. Then, SeoJoon went to SeoJoon's academy, thinking, at least I have to apologize so this never happens again. The notice board appeared. The learning process speed increased slightly after the sword saint repeatedly punched. Merlin's learning process speed added 7%, meaning the current speed is 7%. Gautama's learning process speed plus 0.2%, meaning the current speed is 12.3%. He whispered, never. Then I thought to myself, well, no matter how rude I am, I won't be beaten again at worst. The speed of the learning process increases a lot after just a light blow from him. Thinking about it, SeoJoon pushed enter the door. Hello, he said with a friendly expression. It's here. The familiar voice made him stunned. It was Minchul. He said, why are you standing there? Come in. He is currently sitting very seriously, the sword next to him. Minchul invited him again. Come sit for a bit. SeoJoon was stiff as ice right now. He wondered, was he going to hit him again? Park Minchul expressed his understanding, saying, I understand, you have a contract with SeoJoon. He and I sat on the floor. Park Minchul stared at him with unbelievable eyes, asking again, was it all true? Kim SeoJoon heard him say that, a little angry, and thought, surely you have a lot of doubts, brother. Replied, yes, that's what I said, there was nothing to hide in the beginning and no reason to do so. Park Minchul looked at him with a serious face, thinking, it seems like he is telling the truth, but what is that strength and talent? A normal cadet cannot radiate such great power. This is okay. Park Minchul rubbed his beard and evaluated it, not to mention that when I saw this guy, my anger seemed to burn for no reason. Kim SeoJoon stood up and bowed. Let me say, if you have nothing more to say now, can I go? Park Minchul was a bit surprised and asked him, where are you going? Kim SeoJoon lied and replied, it's not that I want to go anywhere, I just want to practice. He heard that and suddenly became alert, that was it. Park Minchul thought to himself, if I watch this kid practice, I'll be able to roughly grasp what he's hiding. Even though it was like that in his heart, on the outside he responded casually, doing whatever it is, it's up to you. Park Minchul looked blank and mumbled to himself, there was only one thing he could confirm. His mind is in a very unstable state that I can't understand. Park Minchul doesn't understand that action, wondering, does he practice by just sitting and looking at the phone screen for hours? He watched Kim SeoJoon stare at his phone, puzzled. Park Minchul wondered, and the screen didn't even have anything on it. He walked behind him, folded his arms, nobly asked him, are you meditating right now? The screen on his phone went black. Kim SeoJoon turned around, answered, what, sir? What did I just say? Park Minchul repeated what he just said, did I say you were meditating or what? Kim SeoJoon covered up his actions, well, quite similarly. The old man gained momentum, talking in his ear at length. Meditating is definitely a very good way to practice, after all, at such a young age, if you have already practiced it, it is quite good, boy. You must also realize that no matter what happens, meditation will always help strengthen your mind and control your psychology in all situations. Kim SeoJoon listens to the logic, although helpless but still polite. Response, it's clear. Park Minchul saw Kim SeoJoon still looking at the phone screen. A big question arose in his mind. He still didn't understand. What was wrong with this guy? Was he not interested in what he just taught? Park Minchul is not willing, it's impossible. He raised his hand, pretended to cough, attracting attention, then continued, if you want, I have something to teach you. Kim SeoJoon asked again, the Sword Saint will personally teach me star. Park Minchul seemed to have achieved something, secretly gloating, look, he immediately responded, just like I thought. Park Minchul silently made up his mind. He makes me quite curious, so I will teach him something. If he really wants to learn, then I can give him a little guidance. But what did Park Minchul say next? Kim SeoJoon made him fall painfully. But I'm not very interested in your lesson, I'm fine. He sprayed glue on the spot. Kim SeoJoon reprimanded, besides you keep interfering in my practice, if there's something you want to say today, can we talk about it later? He sympathized, I know you're free but. Park SeoJoon walked in and happily said, good morning, SeoJoon, about yesterday. When she saw her grandfather inside, she suddenly asked, how are you? Park Minchul replied, SeoJoon, you're here. He continued to say, you came here at the right time. Park SeoJoon did not understand why his grandfather was here, asked, why did you come here? Park SeoJoon bowed his head and spoke threateningly. If he was still bullying SeoJoon again, Park Minchul glanced at him and whispered to her, isn't that guy relaxing his mind? Park SeoJoon didn't understand what her grandfather was saying. Park Minchul snitched on all of my actions. He said he didn't want to listen to my instructions, the instructions of that Sword Saint. Park SeoJoon is a bit confused, Park Minchul looked at him like he was looking at an alien. Everything he was doing was strange. In fact, he might have lost his mind. Park SeoJoon still didn't understand what his grandfather was saying. She replied, there was nothing strange. She smiled and mumbled to herself, no different from the usual guy. Park Minchul asked in shock, so you mean what he's doing now isn't strange at all? Park SeoJoon said in a low voice, now he could see it was strange. Her eyes were gentle and she continued, because I also thought the same way before. Then SeoJoon went to Kim SeoJoon and said, SeoJoon, I'm here. Kim SeoJoon only then realized her presence and happily replied, Miss SeoJoon, when did you come here? Park SeoJoon asked him, it wasn't long ago, more important is his body. Are you still okay? Park Minchul looked at the two people's actions and was secretly angry. I really don't like that guy at all. He was jealous of him because he saw his niece's smile. What he said was like everyone else's, but SeoJoon was very happy with her, so happy that she always had a smile on her face. So fresh. Park Minchul wondered if the conversation between him and him was really that interesting. He always looked at the two people talking happily. Park Min-chul thought to himself, now that I've noticed, I've rarely seen Seo-eun so happy. He remembered the image of an indifferent Park Seo-eun and her now. Seo-eun teased, "You're really stupid, SeoJoon." His face now looks like a radish was flattened by a pig. Park Min-chul thought to himself, that guy dares. His hand tightened unconsciously. However. Park Min-chul was angry, he dared to target his precious niece. The assistant rushed in to call, looking for the saint. Park Min-chul was still angry and replied in a cold voice, "What's the matter?" The assistant quickly said, "I came here because I have some urgent news to tell you." The assistant continued to say, "The Justice Church, they said they wanted to see you, looking for a saint urgently." Park Min-chul asked again, "Are those stupid church people?" He ignored it and said, "It's not necessary. If they really need something from me, then tell them to come personally to see me." The assistant is still hesitant about something, but the assistant said, "Sir Kalia, directly requested that." Park Min-chul was a bit surprised, thinking, "Kalia, she came here herself." The assistant's sweat dropped and continued, and the Kalia asked even more. He said, "If there is someone named Kim Seo-eun, please go there too." Kim Seo-joon was a bit surprised because he was called into attendance. He pointed at himself and asked, "What's wrong with me?" Kim Seo-joon is now standing and talking, asking again, "Is he looking for me?" Park Min-chul angrily shouted, "This guy, are you one of the people in the Church of Justice? How could someone like Kalia know you?" Kim Seo-joon also continued in confusion, "I'm also wondering." Asked why that person knew about me, Park Seo-eun probably realized something. Could it be because of that? She told me about an incident she encountered before. Not long ago, she saw a very suspicious person wearing a black robe at the academy, standing behind and observing while everyone was in the arena. Park Seo-eun pondered for a while, wondering if someone should also be interested in this case. Park Min-chul replied to his niece, "Even if that person is related to the Church of Justice like Seo-eun said, it still sounds very unusual. There's no way the Kalia would be interested in an ordinary boy like this." Park Seo-eun not paying much attention, he asked SeoJoon, "Have you ever heard of that person?" Kim SeoJoon honestly answered, "I don't know anything either." He spoke innocently, "Oh well, I don't have to go, it's not too much trouble." Park Seo-eun suddenly gasped, "Huh?" Park Seo-eun explained to him, "It was the Church of Justice, she was one of the 7 apostles, she was treated like heads of state with great power in her hands." She asked, he thought, "See if you need to go or not." Park Seo-eun explained the position of the person who invited him. The Kalia is the successor to the currently vacant position left by the virtue of chastity. Normally he cares very little about outside events, for some reason he pointed him there by name. Kim Seo-joon calmly said, "Why is it important to me? He's just a foreigner that I don't know him at all. He considers practicing more important meeting people of high status. I would rather spend that time practicing." Everyone admitted, yes, that is also true. Someone asked if this was the reason why they always appreciated the Kalia. Park Min-chul crossed his arms and asked his assistant, "What do you mean?" He explained, "The truth is that the Kalia knew in advance that Kim Seo-eun would refuse his request, that's why he told me to send message if that happens." Kim Seo-joon was a bit surprised. The assistant continued, "Just go there and she will be willing to send you $100,000, so please reconsider whether or not to go." SeoJoon thought to herself, $100,000, how the hell did she know she needed $100,000? Justice Church. Instead of believing in some man-made god, they were a church that served justice as their god. The person is covered by a mysterious, royal cloak. And the 7 apostles are the most important members, including gentleness, gratitude, patience, chastity, diligence, temperance, charity. They declared that their words were justice, the words of God. A century ago, Catholicism was treated as a mere cult, however. During the Great Flood. By combining their powers with countless superheroes. They played a huge role, bringing peace to all humanity, allowing them to develop significantly. And of all that, the most important part is huge monster, with madness and brutality. When people started saying that the end of the cataclysm was near, suddenly a monster appeared. Its power is so terrible, so great that a team of superheroes from around the world cannot do anything to it. The situation at that time was so desperate that some people had to call it the second cataclysm. But the only person who can take down that giant monster is Emperor Qing and his 7 apostles. They are the key to ending the cataclysm. Present. A certain hotel located on the outskirts of Seoul. Kim Seo-joon froze on the spot in shock, thinking, he is apparently a member of a large church organization around the world, and where he lives, it seems, Park Min-chul is talking to the gatekeeper, "I'm coming to meet Kalia, the guy next to me is." That person looked at him and asked, I know, Mr. Kim SeoJoon. That person led the two of them to the door, then said, please come in, the Kalia is waiting for you too. Kim SeoJoon thought to himself, what if what Miss SeoJoon said was true, and the person she saw at the arena was actually related to the Church of Justice? She must have decided to seduce me to why join their association. There are so many questions, we need to meet them to understand. The other person led them to the room, spoke up. In this room Kim SeoJoon was still lost in her thoughts. Was there something she knew about herself, or did she know about the Inheritance Academy? He silently made up his mind, I need to verify after meeting this person named Kalia. The other person suggested that you two wait here for a moment, he will see you too soon. Park Minchul sat on the chair, sighing helplessly, thinking he would sit and wait for them. I knew this would happen. Kim SeoJoon asked Park Minchul, the Sword Saint, are you acquainted with the Kalia? The question almost made him choke. Park Minchul explained, today is the first day we met her. Kim SeoJoon was a bit surprised by this question. He asked in disbelief, what, is today the first meeting of the two of you? See, you don't talk about him politely, I thought you two were very close. Park Minchul admitted, yes, we called each other a few times, but this was the first time I met her in real life. I had met the Apostle of Chastity before, but I had never met her successor. Kim SeoJoon heard that and thought to himself, a god contributed to the cataclysm. I thought there was something about a sword saint that he didn't know, but I didn't expect there to be many mysteries in the world. He felt something was wrong. Wait, the cataclysm. He continued asking, what about the emperor? Park Minchul replied, as far as we know, it was said that was the first and last time he showed his face in that decisive battle. Kim SeoJoon asked the important question, but have you met the emperor before? Park Minchul honestly answered, I haven't. He continued to say, I can only look at him from a distance. Both realized the sound of the door opening. A person walked in. Nice to meet you too, she asked. Isn't this the first time I've met you in real life? Park Minchul answered angrily, you're the one who called us here, and called us. We have to wait, Kalia. It was Kalia, the heir of the Apostle of Chastity. Park Minchul scolded, you're the one who called us here and made us wait all this time, Kalia. Kalia calmly replied, he thought it would be better if I took the time to cleanse my body and mind to be able to convey my golden words perfectly. Park Minchul sighed helplessly and said angrily. It was really strange to hear this from a person who talks nonsense to many people. Kalia bowed, introduced, sorry for the late introduction, I am Kalina, a follower of the Church of Justice, and the one who spreads the suggestions of God. I am also the heir of the pure Apostle Tran. Kim SeoJoon quickly stood up, greeted, nice to meet you, I'm. Kalia asked, are you Kim SeoJoon? Thank you for coming. He was a bit surprised because she knew his name. Kim SeoJoon asked her, how do you know me? Kalia did not answer. Let's talk about the main issue. I guess I have to clarify a few things before getting to the main content. Kalia explained the reason for calling him here. Almost you once participated in the Academy's debate. At that time, one of our followers followed you, Mr. SeoJoon. Kalia smiled happily and continued, he complimented you so much that I was curious and wanted to see with my own eyes what a wonderful person you were, so I invited you here. Kim SeoJoon spoke his mind, so that's it, if that's the case, are you interested in me? You think things are not that simple, so what is the real motive for inviting me here? You don't mean I came here just for such a simple reason, right? Hearing that, Kalia smiled slightly. She replied, I was planning to tell you and that, why don't you sit down first? After hearing the story, Kim SeoJoon was surprised and asked to scout the dungeon. Kalia admitted, yes, that's right, I hope the Sword Saint will cooperate with me in scouting the dungeon. Park Minchul angrily replied, why do I have to join you? Kali leisurely enjoyed a cup of tea, saying, you yourself know it's not over yet. Park Minchul was surprised to hear her say that. He expressed confusion and asked, what do you mean? Kalia continued, we received a report of deformation in one of the dungeons in Korea. I think the Sword Saint knows what that means. Kim SeoJoon silently wondered, deformation. Park Minchul interrupted her, stop talking nonsense. I'm sure before that, Kalia continued, the Church of Justice has already decided that it is necessary to check the dungeon this time. The room was strangely quiet. Park Minchul asked Kalia seriously, so this is why you came to Korea? He speculated on her thoughts, because at the same time, you will be able to solidify your position as heir. Kalia happily admitted, as expected the Sword Saint is not easily fooled at all. Park Minchul thought for a moment and then said, it is truly embarrassing to say that the decision of the Church of Justice was not happy at all. Kalia asked him, will you help me? Park Minchul didn't think twice and replied, it depends on what I get from you. Kalia gently put down the teacup. She asked Park Minchul in a low voice, It seemed like the Sword Saint didn't want to accept a favor from me, he didn't seem to be in need of anything. Park Minchul sighed and didn't respond. Kalia pulled out her trump card and asked, I heard your niece is managing the Hunter Academy. Park Minchul angrily glared at her. He said in a cold voice, the Church of Justice can. Park Minchul's entire body radiated immense murderous aura. Kim SeoJoon thought to himself, my whole body is numb, so this is the Sword Saint's killing intent when he really wants to say goodbye to someone. Park Minchul sternly, his voice became colder and colder, said, once again, if you try to drag SeoJoon into it, I will not forgive you. Kalia apologized, I was wrong, I'm sorry, but the atmosphere was still very cold. Kalia continued to say, besides, I don't have anything to give you in return, so let's keep it like this, I will listen to one of the Sword Saint's requests. Park Minchul felt contemptuous, replied again, ridiculous, do you expect me to believe you, when all day long you can only pretend not to know anything about the exchange? She continued helplessly, if you want I can swear on the honor of the Church of Justice. Park Minchul could not have predicted this. Kalia continued to speak, this alone was not enough of a deciding factor for the position of apostle. Kalia doesn't care about your feelings, threatens, I don't know what you think, but doesn't it mean you have no other choice? Park Minchul, after hesitating for a while, decided to help, okay, if you swear in the name of the Church of Justice, I will help you. The two of them shook hands, which was the ceremony of the Oath of Justice. Kalia, after finishing working with Park Minchul, she said, now, with SeoJoon, he was surprised when he was called. Kalia happily offered, I'll say it straight, our Church of Justice wants to support you. Kim SeoJoon asked again, support, I have my own affiliated academy. Kalia told him again, we are not forcing you to leave the academy, while you are active, we want to support you in areas beyond the academy's support. Kim SeoJoon didn't think there was such a bargain, so he asked again, so if I accept this support, what will I have to give in return? Kalia happily answered, we don't support you because we want a response, the friendship between the Church of Justice and you SeoJoon is more than enough. Kim SeoJoon intends not to accept, what if I refuse? Kalia still doesn't show any attitude on her face, is still welcoming, then we can't do anything. Kim SeoJoon thought helplessly, speaking as if they had nothing to do with each other. Even though they said that, they will definitely want something again later. Kim SeoJoon decided to give them a chance. Honestly, this is not a very attractive offer, but if you honestly answer one of my questions, I will think about it positively. Poll. Kalia realized there was an opportunity, excitedly accepted, what is your question, just say it. Kim SeoJoon was a bit surprised and was about to say something, could it be him? Then his insides told him to stop, wait. Kim SeoJoon thought to himself, if she answered honestly, just because I was the one asking, after all, if the Kalia refused to answer or answered in a roundabout way, then I wouldn't be able to get an answer. Kalia still had a smile on her face, clasping her hands together, waiting for Kim SeoJoon's question. But it's not like me to miss an opportunity like this, then. Kim SeoJoon put his hand in his pocket, intending to take out something. Then he pulled out his phone and put it in front of the Kalia. Kim SeoJoon asked, what are you seeing right now, on the phone screen? Kalia looked thoughtfully at the phone, not answering. Many people say that the key to existence is the soul. If those words are true, then even if the body is different, the same soul has the same existence. After each death and regression, the natural basis of existence will no longer be different. Kalia was confused, asked, what are you talking about? Kim SeoJoon answered her, whatever I say, that's what I mean, what do you see on my phone screen? Kalia exclaimed, blurting out your words and questions are really strange. Kim SeoJoon spoke his mind, I don't think this is a difficult question, Kalia countered, but I think it's difficult for me. Kim SeoJoon took back the phone and said helplessly, if you don't answer, I can't do anything. Kalia said what she saw, a black screen, his expression turned serious when he heard her answer. Kalia said again to correct his answer, I only see a black screen, does that satisfy you? Kim SeoJoon casually replied, of course. After answering, Kalia happily asked, so will you think of our support in a positive way? Kim SeoJoon slightly closed his eyes and slowly said, I will. He raised his face, stated his decision, and refused this proposal. At night, Kalia stood alone looking out at the night sky. She turned back to ask the assistant, what's wrong, Kalkas? He was a bit shy, saying what he found out, I didn't see any abnormalities. Kalia did not believe it, coldly asked again, are you sure about what you saw? The other person confusedly made an oath, I can swear on the name of the Church of Justice, I am completely sure. Kalia thought to herself, Kim SeoJoon. Actually, he's nothing special. Even if he was special, He was still at the novice level, but I was a bit startled when he suddenly put the phone in my face and asked if I could see anything. Kalia angrily bit her nails, trying to reassure herself, or was this just a feeling of dissatisfaction inside her? The person wearing the black robe continued, "It would be better to report this to the other apostles. Kalia doesn't accept his plan. No, we'll just observe for now. Our priority right now is scouting the dungeon. How are the other heroes?" That person is sweating profusely, said, "I have contacted the Black Saint, the Holy Heart." He continued, "You know, because they are invisible." Kalia thought to herself, "Those who cannot see." After arriving, Park Minchul angrily cursed Kim SeoJoon, "This useless thing, why did he refuse Kalia's offer?" Kim SeoJoon didn't pay much attention. He replied casually, "That makes me feel bad." Park Minchul suddenly asked again, "Makes you uncomfortable?" Kim SeoJoon thought to himself, "I'm not sure about the rest of the Justice Church, but at least the Kalia has nothing to do with the transfer students. However, I don't accept the good intentions of someone with no face. Heart." When Park Minchul heard him say that, he had a different point. "So that means SeoJoon's academy made you feel better?" Kim SeoJoon didn't hide anything, admitted, "Of course, how can I receive anyone? Just as honest as Miss SeoJoon." He had one more question, "Ask him, but Sword Saint, can I ask, what does dungeon reconnaissance mean?" Park Minchul's face turned slightly serious when he heard him ask that. He explained, meaning the magic had been distorted. Park Minchul went on to say, "When that happens, the estimated difficulty of the dungeon during formation will be different from the actual difficulty. Distortions like this cause a lot of ripple effects, but it still mainly results in the leveling up of dungeons, or the dungeons collapse before the end time." Kim SeoJoon couldn't believe his ears and asked again, "What, things like that would happen?" He explained, "It was a phenomenon that you couldn't see at the present time. But during the Great Upheaval, that still happens from time to time." Kim SeoJoon was a bit surprised, wondering, When he was about to leave, Kim SeoJoon asked the second question, "So what Kalia was referring to was not?" Park Minchul replied, "Don't worry anymore, Kalia just misunderstood, the Great Upheaval is over." He saw him walking in the opposite direction, confused and asked, "Oh, where are you going?" "SeoJoon's academy is over here." Park Minchul didn't want to tell him his whereabouts, he didn't need to know. He was about to continue but stopped. "Park Minchul warns you, useless guy, if you do anything suspicious with SeoJoon, I won't let it go, understand?" Kim SeoJoon smiled like he was lucky, saying it again and again, "You recognize me, right?" Park Minchul's face turned black, "I will observe you." He expressed his disbelief, covering his mouth and chuckling. He wasn't honest at all, but it was because of his actions like this that he and SeoJoon became more and more distant. Park Minchul was said to be angry. Kim SeoJoon 36 is the best plan to run away, quickly run away. Are you planning on hitting me again? Good evening." Park Minchul exclaimed, "That useless guy is really great." On the way home, Kim SeoJoon angrily lamented that every time something happened, he wanted to solve it with violence. He opened the door and walked in muttering to himself, "I have to hurry up to face him or something." Then he said to Park SeoJoon, "I'm home." Park SeoJoon was a bit surprised, "Oh, are you SeoJoon? Are you returned sooner than I thought?" She didn't see her grandfather, confused and asked, "How is my grandfather? You said you two would go home together." Kim SeoJoon entered the house, explained, "Well, he came all the way here with me but then left. Gone." Park SeoJoon voiced his doubts, "Did he say anything?" He honestly answered, "Yes, but that's not what she was worried about." Park SeoJoon said apologetically, "My grandfather interfered too much, didn't he? I'm sorry, I should mention it next time." Kim SeoJoon expressed sympathy. The way the Sword Saint revealed his thoughts was not correct, but I don't think it was too bad. Park SeoJoon was a bit surprised to hear him say that. Kim SeoJoon rubbed his head and continued speaking to avoid awkwardness. He could change from now on. If things got worse, he could take a few punches from him, he thought to himself, but of course not. It's free. Kim SeoJoon was a bit helpless as he was talking nonsense all this time. What am I saying? But Park SeoJoon behind him blushed and smiled happily. One of the two said, "Thank you, really." The atmosphere between the two seemed to freeze in place. Kim SeoJoon exclaimed, suddenly realizing. Park SeoJoon spoke up to change the subject to avoid embarrassment. "Oh, you said, you need money, right?" Kim SeoJoon was quite surprised and asked her, "Yeah, that's true, but how do you know that?" She explained, "You sing the same song every day, how could I not know?" "That's right, every day you said, you will definitely get me $100,000. Kim SeoJoon didn't believe it, asked again, when Park SeoJoon pointed out some evidence, asked, "Don't you remember?" He still didn't believe he said that. "I did, Huh. Kim SeoJoon thought to himself, now that I think about it, money is my most serious problem, isn't it? I used the $100,000 I received from Kalia to pay off the debt. He cursed, money is cursed. He turned to stone when thinking about the future. The free period was about to end. He had to buy weapons, and he had to listen to lectures alone. Park Seo-eun took out her phone, intending to do something. She spoke up to help him. Woke up Kim SeoJoon, so when you weren't here, I did a little research, and by chance I found this suitable thing. He was confused, asked again, suitable thing. 24th, Dungeon Clearing Contest, Recruitment Guilds. Kim SeoJoon looked at his phone, wondering, Wipeout Contest, Dungeon. Kim SeoJoon wondered, Dungeon Extermination Contest. The phone displayed a notification, 24th, Dongun Extermination Contest, Content, Dungeon Raid regulated by competent person, private how to participate, who attends a government-recognized Hunter Academy, registration period, from the date of announcement to the 15th, evaluation criteria, number of raid dungeons within the period, rewards winner, 300 million. He asked Park Seo-eun in confusion, what is this? She replied, simple explanation, this is a contest to destroy unprocessed dungeons. Kim SeoJoon was still stupid and didn't understand, destroying dungeons that haven't been dealt with yet. Park Seo-eun answered helplessly, anyway, people don't want to deal with dungeons that don't make money. Kim SeoJoon also understood. He let me pretend to cough and said, yes, that's true. Kim SeoJoon thought to himself, it is possible for people who are awakened during a period of great change to have some mission or trust, but now professional hunters only pursue benefits. Park Seo-eun explained further, dungeons that don't earn money usually have low levels and are difficult to charge. Dungeons that are not resolved over time will be broken and monsters will flood out of the dungeon. No matter how low level the monsters are, they can still be dangerous to ordinary people. Initially, Donguns were like that. There will be civil servant hunters in charge of handling this, but wasting high-level hunters in a place like this is wasteful and inefficient in every way. Thinking about the scene where a level 50 high-level hunter had to fight a level 2, Kalap Gorlan, and he innocently asked, are you going to kill me? The erudite Park Seo-eun continued, in the end the government replaced it with another method, that is. Kim SeoJoon also understood the point, she meant this Dongun destruction contest. She happily replied, correctly. Park Seo-eun continued to say, the Donguns that have not been processed can be handled by most of the students. After all, there are many students now, and there is excess human resources. Just add a sentence and it will be reflected. Back in the student evaluation section. Kim SeoJoon held the phone and praised the person who came up with this idea. I don't know who it is, but it's smart. Park Seo-eun squinted her eyes and smiled, asking, if it were you SeoJoon, it would seem like you could win this contest, what do you think? He paid attention to the prize. The winning prize was 300 million. In addition, the competition itself was a Dongun extermination contest, so it was possible to speed up the lecture by conducting the extermination. Kim SeoJoon thought to himself, there is no reason not to participate. He excitedly returned the phone to Park Seo-eun. Okay, I will go to war. She also happily replied, I know you will do that, so I will go register to participate right away.